My first contact with video games was through Final Fantasy. The idea of having a game where you could go anywhere you wanted, killing monsters and buying gear, fascinated me, and since then it's my favorite video game series of all time. However, I only played 4 of them. I know, fake fan. But I will change that. With me back into achievement hunting, I decided to establish a goal: to get every achievement for every Final Fantasy game. Except the MMOs, because they don't have Steam achievements and I'm not that crazy. In order to get every achievement, you need to complete the main story, complete the bestiary, and open every single chest in the game, along with a couple of miscellaneous stuff. The story starts with the 4 Warriors of Light. We are summoned to the king's castle, where the king asks us to save his daughter, Sarah. She was kidnapped by Garland, one of the kingdom's swordsmen. Before traveling to the Chaos Shrine where the princess is being held hostage, we buy a couple of supplies and farm some monsters to the grind that is the bestiary. Inside the shrine, and after some more grinding, we get the very first achievement. We then find Garland next to a passed out Princess Sarah, where we learn that his whole reason for kidnapping her was for a trade. Her for the kingdom. After defeating him, the princess wakes up and we get... In the castle, we learn about the prophecy of the Warriors of Light. The king tells us there's a crystal up north and orders the bridge to be repaired. Before leaving, we get the loot. As soon as we cross the bridge, we explore this new area a little bit and reach Matoya's cave. Inside, we see Matoya completely blind because she lost her crystal eye. We can't do much to help her now, so we gotta go east to reach Pravoka. The city is being invaded by pirates and we need to defeat them. After doing so, we get... And in order to get mercy from us, the captain gives us his pirate ship. Now we can set sail as we please. We go west where we can reach Helfheim. Inside the Elven castle, we see that the Elven prince was cursed by a dark elf named Astos 5 years ago. We keep going west until we reach the Western Keep. Inside the ruined castle, we meet the local king who requests for us to find his crown after he was tricked by Astos. And look for the crown we go. We reach the March Caves and after a couple of fights, we get... After exploring for a bit, we open plenty of chests and inside one of them are monsters hidden. After defeating them, we get the last crown. We return to the Western Keep and after giving the crown back to the king, we discover that he was Astos all along. After defeating the Dark Elf, we receive the Crystal Eye, and it's time for us to give it back to its owner, Matoya. In exchange for her Crystal Eye, she gives us the Jolt Tonic which we can use to wake the Elven Prince up. Now fully awake from his coma, he rewards us with the Mystic Key and we can finally access plenty of rooms that were locked previously. With that, we start backtracking a bit to do a bit of cleanup on the chest part of the game. Inside Castle Cornelia, we unlock every chest available there and we get the Nitro Powder, which will be useful later on. And opening these chests rewards us with... While we keep doing our chest cleanup, we also get... Back to our adventure, we sail west and reach Mount Durgar, where dwarves live. Inside, one of the dwarves named Smith mentions that if we find a Damantite, he could craft us an amazing weapon. When we give the Nitro Powder to Nerik, he blows up the cave, opening up a passage for us to sail even further. Back to our ship, we keep fighting monsters until we get... As soon as we reach land, we fight some more monsters, and we get... We reach Melmond and the villagers mention that a vampire is living in a cavern of earth and is the reason the earth is decaying. As the good warriors of light we are, we reach the cavern of earth, defeat the vampire, and we get the star Ruby. We feed the ruby to a stone giant in a giant's cave so we can cross to the other side. In here, we can go to the Sage's cave, where he gives us the Earth Rod so we can go deeper inside the Cavern of Earth. Back to the cavern, we awake the Fiend of Earth, and after defeating him, the Earth Crystal gets his power back, and we get... Back to our ship, we set sail to Crescent Lake. We speak with a circle of wizards to receive a canoe. Because we defeated the Earth Fiend, the Fire Fiend woke up way earlier than it was supposed to. So next stop, Mount Gulg. After going inside and collecting chests and monsters for our bestiary, it's time to face Marilith. After defeating her, we restore the Fire Crystal, and we also get... We need an airship for the next destinations. For that, we need to go to the Cavern of Ice where the Levy Stone is. We use our canoe, and inside, after opening some chests, we get... After some more monster slaying, we fall deep into the cavern, and we get the Levy Stone after we defeat the evil eye that was guarding it. After retrieving the stone, we leave the Cavern of Ice, and now we sail to the south, to the desert, where we unlock the airship. Before going any further, we are going to take the airship for a spin and farm some monsters for the bestiary, which will get us... Our next stop is the Citadel of Trials. Inside there's a rat's tail that we can give to the dragon Behemoth in exchange for class upgrades. After going through some portals, killing monsters and opening chests, we finally get what we came here for. Now we need to go to the Dragon Caves, where after proving our worth to Bahamut by giving him the rat's tail, we upgrade everyone in the party. This makes us stronger, and it also gives us... Now that we are on a different level, our next stop is Gaia. The locals mention that the local fairy disappeared, while someone brags about selling her. Luckily, we are rich, and we easily buy her back. Before we go back, I felt like checking how the ship was, and while I was at it, I decided to unlock the minigame achievement. Back in Gaia, the fairy gets free from the bottle and returns to her lake. Talking with her, she apologizes for running away from us and gives us the Oxyel, which will allow us to breathe underwater. Before any underwater exploration, we need to go to Onrak first. We learn there's a mechanical creature in the waterfall cave, so we gotta explore it. With canoe and river, we enter the cave. After exploring and opening chests, we talk to the lonely robot who gives us the warp cube. In Onrak, we speak with a young lady who asks us to save the mermaids before disappearing into the river. We enter the barrel that will take us to the sunken shrine. After a very long exploration, we reach the place where the mermaids are being kept, and the only way to save them is by defeating the Fiend of Water. We also find the Rosetta Stone, which will be useful later on. We eventually reach the deepest part of the shrine where Kraken, the Fiend of Water, is. After a quick fight, we defeat him, and the water crystal is now powered once again. As soon as we defeat Kraken, we get... We return to Melman to speak with a local expert on Lufenian, and by showing him the Rosetta Stone, he will learn the language and teach it to us. Now it's time to put this knowledge to good use and go to Lufenia ourselves. One of the locals will give us the chime so we can enter the Mirage Tower, making it our next destination. On top of the tower, we see another robot and it tells us to use the warp cube so we can go beyond the sky. This will take us to the Flying Fortress, and it will unlock... The Flying Fortress is where the Crystal of Wind is, but it's also the place where Warmek, the hardest monster in the game, spawns. While we are here, we gotta make sure to open every chest and defeat as much enemies as we can for the bestiary. After 45 minutes of going up and down the same corridor to find Warmek, we get... After 2 hours of going up and down, I decided to stop fighting monsters and just run from battles, until my little goblin auto-piloted brain did this. I'm so stupid.
2 hours later.
Oh, finally. Why were you so hard to kill? With the war mech finally defeated, we can proceed with the story. It's time to fight Tiamat, the Fiend of Wind, and power up the final crystal. Defeating Tiamat was a bit easier than anticipated, but after grinding for almost 5 hours, that was expected. After the Fiend of Wind is gone, we get... With every crystal powered up, it's time to make final preparations for the last battle. We start by returning to Mount Durgar, where we give the adamantite to Smith. He then makes the sword he promised, and that gets us... We return to where everything started, the Chaos Shrine. After touching the Black Crystal, we get teleported 2,000 years into the past. After exploring for a while, we reach a spot where we can proceed any further until we use the loot, opening a secret passage to lower floors. As we go further, we reach another stop. This time, it's the Lich. He is back and stronger than before, but we defeat him again. Our next opponent is Marilith, and we dispose of her quite fast as well. Next one is the Kraken, and he's gone. As we explore further, we open the last chest of the game, getting us one rematch left, and it's against Tiamat. And with the last fiend defeated, we are one step closer to finally end this once and for all. We enter the final room on our little trip into the past, and we see Garland. He explained us that we killed him in the future, however the fiends brought him into the past, where it took them into the future, and we are in a time loop. And he says he's no longer Garland, and his name is Chaos. After a very long battle, we finally defeat Garland, or Chaos, or whatever you wanna call him, and the loop is over. And since he was the last monster needed for the bestiary, we get... And for completing the story and finishing the game, it was a very pleasant experience to play the very first Final Fantasy. I wasn't expecting such a decent story and that many places to explore and monsters to kill. The bestiary was also a very fun thing to complete because it made me go everywhere just so I was sure I wasn't missing any monster down the line. The Warmech was also a very challenging but very fun super boss to fight, and I'm glad that they kept this type of challenge with every entry. If you are curious and want to try for yourself the origins of a very loved franchise, I do recommend that you play the Pixel Remaster series. If you watched my whole journey to complete the very first Final Fantasy, thank you so much, and I hope to see you on the next one.